Step Warmfloor is a brand of electric underfloor heating systems manufactured by Warmup, which is a British company. It is designed for use under ceramic tile, stone, and vinyl flooring. The system is a peel and stick system that is relatively easy to install. It consists of a mesh backing with pre-spaced heating cables that are self-adhesive. The mesh backing is attached to the subfloor, and the heating cables are then covered with thin-set mortar and flooring. Step Warmfloor is not Underwriters Laboratories listed, but it does conform to Underwriters Laboratories Standard 1693, which covers the safety requirements for electric underfloor heating systems. Underwriters Laboratories listing is not required by code in all jurisdictions, but it is generally considered to be a sign of quality and safety. Step Warmfloor has generally positive reviews from customers who have used it. The system is rated highly for its ease of installation, performance, and energy efficiency. However, some users have reported issues with the product's durability and customer service. There are some considerations to keep in mind when evaluating Step Warmfloor. Firstly, Step Warmfloor requires a dedicated electrical circuit. Make sure that the electrical system can support the additional load. Secondly, Step Warmfloor is compatible with ceramic tile, stone, and vinyl flooring. It is not suitable for use under wood or carpet flooring. Thirdly, while Step Warmfloor is relatively easy to install, it is still recommended that it be installed by a qualified electrician or flooring contractor. Fourthly, Step Warmfloor comes with a 25-year warranty. Make sure that the terms and conditions of the warranty are understood. Overall, Step Warmfloor is a popular choice for electric underfloor heating systems. It is relatively easy to install, energy efficient, and durable. However, it is important to weigh the advantages and disadvantages carefully before making a decision on whether or not to recommend it. It is important to determine the electrical requirements. Step Warmfloor requires a dedicated electrical circuit. Ensure the existing electrical system can handle the load. The system is compatible with ceramic tile, stone, and vinyl flooring. It's not suitable for wood or carpet. While relatively easy to install, professional installation is recommended. A 25-year warranty is included. Understanding the warranty terms is essential. To expand further on electrical requirements, you need to look at the voltage, amperage, and wire gauge of the Step Warmfloor system. This information is usually found on the product packaging or in the installation manual. Once you have this information, you can determine the size of the dedicated circuit that will be required. You will also need to ensure that the wiring in the condo is properly sized to handle the load. Refer to the National Electrical Code, or NEC, Table 310.15 for proper ampacity ratings of conductors. For example, if the Step Warmfloor system requires 15 amps at 120 volts, you will need to install a 15 amp circuit with 14 American wire gauge, or AUG, copper wire, or 12 AWG aluminum wire, assuming it meets the other NEC requirements such as conductor insulation type and termination temperature rating. The amperage draw will determine the breaker size that is to be installed, whereas the voltage will determine which electrical leg to use within the breaker box. When choosing the floor covering, it is vital to understand thermal conductivity. Different flooring materials have different thermal conductivity, which is a measure of how well they conduct heat. Ceramic tile and stone have high thermal conductivity, which means they will transfer heat from the Step Warmfloor system to the room efficiently. Vinyl flooring has lower thermal conductivity, so it will not transfer heat as efficiently. Wood and carpet flooring have very low thermal conductivity, so they are not suitable for use with Step Warmfloor. Professional installation is important for several reasons. Firstly, a qualified electrician will be able to properly install the Step Warmfloor system and ensure that it meets all applicable electrical codes. Secondly, a qualified flooring contractor will be able to properly install the flooring over the Step Warmfloor system and ensure that it is level and smooth. Thirdly, a professional installer will be able to troubleshoot any problems that may arise during installation. 25-year warranty is a valuable asset. Understanding the terms and conditions of a warranty is important because it will protect the customer in the event that the Step Warmfloor system fails. The warranty typically covers defects in materials and workmanship, but it may not cover damage caused by improper installation or use. Make sure the customer reads and understands the warranty document carefully. The Underwriters Laboratories Standard 1693 focuses on several key safety aspects of electric underfloor heating systems. Firstly, it addresses the risk of electrical shock. The standard requires that the heating cables be properly insulated and grounded to prevent electrical shock. Secondly, it covers the risk of fire. The standard requires that the heating cables be made of fire-resistant materials and that the system be designed to prevent overheating. Thirdly, it addresses the risk of burns. The standard requires that the surface temperature of the flooring not exceed a certain level to prevent burns. Understanding these aspects of Underwriters Laboratories 1693 can provide additional assurance, even without a full Underwriters Laboratories listing. Consider the energy efficiency of the Step Warmfloor system. Electric underfloor heating systems can be relatively energy efficient, but it is important to choose a system that is properly sized for the room and that is controlled by a thermostat. A programmable thermostat can help to save energy by automatically turning the system on and off at certain times of the day. You can calculate the estimated energy consumption of the Step Warmfloor system by multiplying the wattage of the system by the number of hours it will be used per day. For example, if a 500-watt system is used for 8 hours per day, it will consume 4 kilowatt-hours of electricity per day. The cost of electricity will vary depending on the location, but the average cost in the United States is about 15 cents per kilowatt-hour. Therefore, the cost of operating the 500-watt system for 8 hours per day would be about 60 cents. Further consideration should include the subfloor preparation. A proper subfloor is crucial for a successful Step Warmfloor installation. The subfloor should be clean, level, and free of any debris. If the subfloor is not level, it will need to be leveled before the Step Warmfloor system is installed. This can be done by using a self-leveling compound. It is important to follow the manufacturer's instructions carefully when using a self-leveling compound. Also, consider the room size and layout. The size and layout of the room will affect the amount of Step Warmfloor material that will be needed. It is important to measure the room accurately and to create a layout plan before ordering the material. The layout plan should show the location of all of the heating cables and the thermostat. Additionally, consider the thermostat placement. The thermostat should be placed in a location where it will accurately measure the temperature of the room. It should not be placed in direct sunlight or near a heat source. The thermostat should also be placed at a convenient height for the user to reach. If the thermostat is not placed properly, it may not accurately control the temperature of the room. Furthermore, consider electromagnetic field or EMF emissions. Some people are concerned about the electromagnetic field emissions from electric underfloor heating systems. However, Step Warmfloor systems are designed to minimize electromagnetic field emissions. The heating cables are shielded to reduce electromagnetic field levels. Also, the systems are typically installed under a layer of thin-set mortar and flooring, which further reduces electromagnetic field exposure. When evaluating Step Warmfloor, compare it to other underfloor heating options. There are several other types of underfloor heating systems available, such as hydronic systems and radiant floor heating systems. Hydronic systems use hot water to heat the floor, while radiant floor heating systems use electric resistance coils to heat the floor. Each type of system has its own advantages and disadvantages. Hydronic systems are typically more energy efficient than electric systems, but they are also more expensive to install. Radiant floor heating systems are less expensive to install than hydronic systems, but they are not as energy efficient. Consider the long-term costs and benefits of each system before making a decision. Consider the potential for future renovations. If the customer is planning to renovate the condo in the future, it is important to consider how the Step Warmfloor system will be affected. The system may need to be removed or modified if the flooring is changed. It is also important to ensure that the electrical system can handle the additional load of the Step Warmfloor system after the renovations are complete. Proper documentation is essential. Keep detailed records of the Step Warmfloor installation, including the layout plan, electrical connections, and thermostat settings. This documentation will be helpful for future maintenance and repairs. It is also important to provide the customer with a copy of the documentation. Furthermore, consider the availability of customer support. Before recommending Step Warmfloor, check to see if the manufacturer offers adequate customer support. A customer support team should be able to answer any questions that the customer may have about the system. They should also be able to provide assistance with installation and troubleshooting. If the manufacturer does not offer adequate customer support, it may be best to choose a different underfloor heating system. Remember to check local electrical codes. Before installing Step Warmfloor, be sure to check local electrical codes. These codes may have specific requirements for underfloor heating systems. It is important to comply with all applicable codes to ensure that the installation is safe and legal. Consulting with a local electrician or building inspector can help to ensure code compliance. Remember, it is necessary to calculate the total load. Before installing Step Warmfloor, calculate the total electrical load of the system. This will help to determine the size of the dedicated circuit that will be required. The total load can be calculated by multiplying the wattage of the system by the voltage. For example, if a 500-watt system is operated at 120 volts, the total load will be 4.17 amps. When considering all of these factors, the goal is to ensure the Step Warmfloor system meets the needs of the customer while providing safe and efficient heating for years to come. Thorough research and careful planning are crucial for a successful installation.